Hello friends, and welcome of you to video number 9 of our new course, Building a Website Application. First of all, I forgot to mention two things about the check email layer, and I will mention it here, then I will move on to the reset password step. This is the check email design, the HTML web page design. This is the HTML and the header and the footer, and here we will make a fragment. This fragment is mentioned in here. The check email fields validation, which contains the one field, and this field has the reCAPTCHA and the messages that will show, and the submit button, and then the message that will show up. Usually, if the success or no success, if the email was sent, the message will be shown in here. I want to talk about this line, actually, the form line, which we have used to talk about in the previous videos for the forms. The action, we will keep it empty. The timely action will be check email. Check email. As you can see here in the controller, this method will have the routing of check email, and it's a post method, of course, because this is email will be sent to the database, so it's a post, and we'll give it an ID, and the object name is check email model, and the method is post. So this object name, as we have said before, it should match in here as well, and it should match in the check email routing page at the controller. So check email model, it should be the same. Okay, having said that, let's move to the model map object, which we will use it here to show any messages, as I have said, and these messages will shown in here, and we place the code of it in the fragment in here, and then the reCAPTCHA part and the field that will be used, we will be using it, which is the email field, and the HTTP servlet. This servlet we will require it because we will need it in here. It's this servlet, this object of the servlet, the HTTP servlet, that we will require it, so we have to obtain it, and the field of the email field in the page of the check email page. This is the thing that I forgot to mention in the previous video, so I'm mentioning it in here in this video. Now we will move to the final piece, final step of resetting the password. Okay, now let's talk about the final step of resetting the password. Now let's talk about in the main controller first. We start. The user had clicked on the reset link that he received in his email. What will happen? We will get this method. It's a get method, which will brings us the reset password page, this page. That's why it's a get method, because now we need to get a page. This page consists of a header and a fragment and a footer. The fragment consists of one field, which is enter password, which is this field. This field, the user will enter his new selected password, and then he press save, not login, sorry, save. Once he press the save button, then the new password, the reset password, will be persisted in the database, and afterward he can use the new password to log in to his account, his or her account. This is the process. So this is the method, which is a get method. Now let's see the implementation of this method. The implementation is that, as we have said in the previous video, on the validation of the token, which was this piece, we validate the token structure, we validate the validity of the token, is it expired or still valid, and then if it is not, then we can proceed with the resetting process with this code. So this represents this code. Now we need to see this string which we are getting in here. We are getting a string, this string or this string. This string, is it equal to token used is invalid, or is it equal to token expired? If it is matching one of these, that means this reset link cannot be used. And in this case, we will go back to the check email module. We will go back to this page so we can get a new reset link and send it again to the user email. This in case the validation have failed. Either the token structure is wrong or the valid period of the token is expired. Okay, so this is the first, and we give a message that the token is invalid or expired. Now what if the token structure is okay and the validity is still not expired? In this case, we will move and open the reset password page, which is this one, as I have told you, which has this fragment, and it has one field for resetting the new password. For entering, the user will enter his new selected password, and then we save it, and this new password will be persisted in the database. This process is done by this TH action, the reset password, and it's supposed this afterward for the resetting the password, persisting the password, the new password in the database. Now once we have validated, immediately we will move to the next step, is that when the user start to enter his new password. So it's two steps combined in one step: calling the HTML page, validating the link, and once it's validated, then immediately at the same time the page, we will be able to use it. We will be able to use it, because if we will not be able to use it, we will get this message: token is invalid or expired, and we will be redirected back to the check email module. We will be redirected back to this page to get a new reset link. Okay, I hope this process is clear to you. So it's two steps in one: getting the page, checking the validity. If it's okay, immediately we will get the page, the reset page, and the user can enter his new selected password, and then we save it, persist it in the database. That's why the second step is a post step, because in this step we will contact the database to save the new, to persist the new password. And it's all done by this line, the reset password, the same routing for both, but we will use a post. Okay, so the second step is that we need to assign this new password to a user in the database. The database has multiple users, so this new user, to which user will be assigned? This is a very important thing. Remember in the check email when we said that the email will be concatenated to some random characters and numbers, because later on this specific email will be used by the database to assign the new password, which is explained in here. Find user by reset token. Find user by reset token, which is this token that we have saved in the database. That's why I said this is a very important step. Otherwise the database will not know to this new user, this new password, to which user it will be, because as I said, the database has multiple users. So this new password, to which user? Here, this is the solution for it. The reset link, the reset token. So we will get the check email service dot find user by reset token, and accordingly we will give this user that is concatenated to the reset token, we will assign to him the new password. Okay, so I hope this is a very this point is clear to you. The reset token containing with it the email of that user. So when the user create a new password, this new password, the database will put it with the email account of that is concatenated with this reset token. Now this is this check email service, which is this method, find user by reset token. Now you see that I didn't do a DAO in this case. I just wanted to show you how you can do the logic without the DAO. Okay, so you still can do it, although it's preferable if you do a DAO and DAO implementation, but here I'm doing it directly without creating a DAO implementation. And this check email service, we will do it, the find user by reset token with the check email repository directory. Check email repository, depending, taking the argument of a reset token. So we will collect the reset token and we search this reset token in the database, and accordingly we will find the user corresponding to this reset token, and accordingly the new password will be assigned to that user. This is the whole process. Now if the user is present, this is an optional object, yes or no, present or not present. If the reset token is available and the user is available, then we will reset the password for it and we encode it using this object of decrypt password encoder. We will encode this password and then persist it in the database, and at the same time we should delete the reset token from the database. We can do it by just putting the argument as null. In this case, the reset token will be deleted and the new password will be assigned to the user, to the email that is accompanied, that is concatenated to the reset token, and we will hash the password and save it, and then finally we will save all this process using this method, the save method. Okay. Once we have reached to this step, now we just send a message that the user have successfully resetted his password. This message will be shown in the reset password page. Once we are done showing this, immediately then we will reroute to the login page, to the first page, to the home page. And this way the user can now log in with his new password. This is the entire process. So you see these two steps all be done in one step, like it's one step. Get the page of the reset token, validate the token. If it's okay, then we move to the reset password and we start persisting the new password. This new password will be assigned to a user that is concatenated to the reset token that we have created in here, so that the database can know to which user this new password will be assigned to. This is the entire process. And as per for the parameters here, these are the parameters that we will need and that we will use. Now for the reset password page, since it is like a form, so you can also add the reCAPTCHA if you wish, but in general it's not necessary. But if you wish, you can add, and it's very simple. If you wish to add the reCAPTCHA, you just add it in here at the design of the reset password page. You can simply add it in here, let's say, and add in the controller the required code. This is the entire process when you wish to reset a password for a user. Now I believe this is a basic design of any website. We have covered so far the basic design of any website. In the next video, I will talk about few things that you may add or you may not, if you wish to add them. We will speak somehow about the somewhat about the grid design. So some few minor points which are you could say like an extras for the design. But as for the design, so far until this point, we have talked about the major point for any website design. Okay, thank you very much.